Welcome to the Den, the Dark Entertainment Network. I am the Gothic Rose, and this is a channel where the news meets conspiracy theories. It makes babies in my brain, and it comes out my mouth. If this is your type of content, be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and hit that bell, because I am not going to stop. Hello, dear fiends of the Den. I don't even know where to begin. The news is wild. I have to keep talking about what is going on with this administration and the news about, well, two deaths. First of all, a moment of silence for Bob Newhart. Oh, my, dear fiends of the Den. Edward J. Foylner, co-founder of the Heritage Foundation, has passed away at age 83. Now, this news comes on the fact that Project 2025 has been taking shape before our very eyes. Now, who was this man? He was a conservative hero, and he drove Trump's Project 2025 vision. Did he drive Trump's 2025 project vision, or was Project 2025 his vision that Trump fueled for him? So this man, Fuellner, the co-founder of the longest-serving president of the Heritage Foundation, passed away on Friday at the age of 83. A central figure in modern American conservatism, Fuellner led the think tank from 1977 to 2013 and returned briefly from 2017 to 2018. And under his leadership, the Heritage Foundation transformed from a small Washington-based group into a major policy force that reshaped Republican thinking, especially during the Reagan era and again under Donald Trump. Now, this is very important because the 80s was a very conservative time. Everyone was very, very happy about Ronald Reagan winning 2 terms, and then Reaganomics, and we're still waiting for the trickle down. And guess what? It doesn't work. But Fuellner's influence extended beyond policy papers. He played a direct role in crafting conservative agendas, and popping back between 2017 and 2018, right after the 2016 election, it makes sense that this is when his dream of Project 2025 outlined the blueprint for this second Trump administration came to fruition. So he is, and his legacy, they're saying right here, is deeply tied to the rise of organized conservative policymaking in Washington. And now he's gone on the tail of the Epstein saga. Interesting. What did he know? So Fuellner's ties to politics go back to when Jimmy Carter was president. So this was a time of the Iran-Contra, and this was a whole scandal and an entire cover-up. Now, if you remember in yesterday's episode, Bill Barr was mentioned as being friends with the Casablanca modeling agency, which was tied to Trump. So it seems like Trump maybe had some connections in politics long before we realized. So Bill Barr's connection to the Iran hostage crisis isn't direct, but it's tangled up in the Iran-Contra affair, which in and of itself was a covert response to the hostage situation in Lebanon during the 1980s. So this is not the original 1979 Tehran crisis, and this is how Bill Barr fits into it. And this is how Fuellner is tied in or riding the side of it here. So the mid-1980s, the Reagan administration secretly sold arms to Iran, a designated enemy state, in hopes of securing the release of American hostages held in Lebanon. The proceeds from these arms sales were illegally funneled to support the Contra rebels in Nicaragua, violating U.S. law. And Bill Barr's role in the cover-up is he was the Attorney General under George H.W. Bush and Barr strongly supported pardons for key figures involved in Iran-Contra, including Caspar Weinberger, Reagan's former defense secretary. So these pardons effectively shut down the independent counsel's investigation, which was closing in on Bush himself and his role in the affair. Oh my God. And 2016 just rolls this all around. Now, this was the early 90s with Bush. I was in high school, and the early 90s, 1991, is when Trump had to do with the Casablanca modeling agency, and Bill Barr was involved in this. So there is so much to this. So this now Epstein hoax and the Russia hoax, and everything is a hoax, 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 hoax. All of the same characters are involved from the 1970s, 80s, early 90s, and the earlier part of the 20th century before 2020 hit. This is insane. Now, this whole cover up is not, and this is the Iran-Contra cover up. This is not just how like power protects itself. Bill Barr's actions helped bury a scandal that involved trading weapons for hostages, funding foreign wars, and dodging accountability at the highest levels. And this here is the blueprint. This is the blueprint for how this political machinery has been able to sanitize and wipe clean and bulldoze over these explosive secrets. And doing that is how we got here today with these Epstein files. Donald Trump has never before released a health report on himself. He's the healthiest man in the world. And even if he had swollen ankles, that is from a multitude of things. It doesn't technically stop you from being able to work and do things. And neither do liver spots on your hands that you cover up. But the thing is, we're looking for transparency in the president of the United States. We're not looking to butt into an old man's health issues. This is important. Everyone was going on about how Joe Biden was too old and sounding senile and slowing down. And I'm not going to disagree at all. I really think that you should probably not run for president or higher offices like that once you're in your 60s. Like, get ready for retirement too. It's okay. We don't need these old opinions from 50, 60 years ago still trying to take control today. It's just, I don't understand the reasoning. I don't understand why these people care so much about what the hell other people do in their own homes. And why does someone else's life and lifestyle who you might not agree with affect yours so badly that you need to have control over everything, including women's bodies? Weirdos. It's disgusting. But let's just quickly talk about some of these other players, just for some food for thought in your mind. Check this out because it's crazy, okay? So there are other names that we know that have to do with the Epstein estate and trust. So Epstein's fortune was transferred into a secretive entity called the 1953 Trust just days before his death in 2019. His brother Mark Epstein is the executor managing what's left, estimated between 150 and 200 million, and this is after paying, okay? Because much of the estate is being used to compensate victims, pay legal fees, and settle lawsuits, and that is over 164 million already distributed out. But there have been suspicious activity reports, as I stated yesterday, known as SARs. A Senate investigation led by Ron Wyden uncovered 1.5 billion in shadowy transfers, including 4,725 wire transfers just from one JP Morgan account. And like I said yesterday, all of these Russian banks may have funded all of these trafficking operations across Russia, Belarus, Turkey, and Turkmenistan, which we just found out was a country yesterday, or at least I just did. But keep in mind, Russia and Belarus, and Russia hoax, Epstein hoax. This is all sounding suspiciously tied together. So now, of course, the DOJ and the FBI are concluding their reviews, and there's claiming there's no credible client list. There's no blackmail evidence. You're stonewalling. I say you're stonewalling. MAGA says you're stonewalling. All your critics are saying you're stonewalling because you said, Pam Bondi, you said it was on your desk. The whole list. You gave out phase one of the list. This is just too much cognitive dissonance. This is too many lies you're trying to throw in our faces. So now, under pressure, of course, Trump ordered Pam Bondi to seek court approval to release grand jury testimony related to Epstein. But now we have Epstein's $40 million stake in Peter Thiel's Valor Venture. And this has ballooned up to between 170 and 200 million, but it is locked in venture capital and can't be liquidated easily. But this chunk of money is a major point of frustration for victims still awaiting full compensation. So he's now involved with Peter Thiel, who we know is backing JD Vance. And why today is this money still moving, and to whom? So there's legal settlements, there's asset liquidations, and there's trust distributions that are ongoing. So that is the reason that a lot of this money is still liquid and people are handling it. But there are some offshore accounts and opaque trusts that may still be active, and these are under scrutiny. And the lack of transparency is fueling speculation that there are hidden beneficiaries and undisclosed transactions. Now, again, is Epstein still alive and living on his island? Is, like they said, Trump gone and Epstein is pretending to be Trump under all that makeup in the White House? Or are they both around and still working together? And that's what these mass deportations are about, is trafficking people. Think about it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah, I'm looking into Pizzagate and I am going to go deeper and tell you more. Please leave me comments. Please leave me clues. Please leave me links. I will talk about everything here. Thank you for joining me in the den. So, if you have anything to add, anything at all, leave a comment. Or if you have a big long story, email me at welcome to the den podcast at gmail.com. And thank you for joining me in the den.